guys, I'm gonna make a curry that's gonna go on some rice, and all of these wonderful ingredients are gonna go in it. It's fairly quick. Now it is going to serve 4, and each serving on Freestyle will be 1 point. Actually, no, it's going to be more if you're going to count your potatoes or your kabocha. All right, so when I counted the points for the curry, I had left out the points for the rice that I served it on. So it's going to be different if you're going to have brown rice rather than white rice. I ended up using white rice, so I had to add 6 points onto my daily total because of the rice, because I had a full cup of the rice. But an interesting fact to remember is that when we were talking about resistant starch, like when you have sweet potatoes or when you cook regular potatoes and then cool them and then reheat them, your resistant starch gets a little higher, so it means that you're not going to absorb all those calories. Well, the same thing kind of happens to white rice, and I was a little surprised to find out that when you cool the white rice and it, it goes in the fridge, it comes out later, and then you reheat it, it's become resistant starch when it's cooled and reheated. So that was really good news to me because it made me feel better about eating white rice. As long as I cool it off and then reheat it, it becomes a little bit more resistant. So something to remember. Squash. I use a kabocha squash in this. I love the way it tastes in this curry. Now, if you're going to be doing the purple plan, this is only going to be 1 point, and so this is why I love the purple plan so much. So anyway, let's get started. I'm going to use 2 to 4. I love garlic, so I'm using 4 cloves of garlic, which I'm going to mince. A half of a chopped onion. White onion's probably going to be good because purple is going to make it change colors. And then 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. And then next 5 ounces of fresh chopped tomatoes. I actually had these in the refrigerator, so I'm going to chop these up and use those. If you're going to use a large tomato, I would recommend maybe cutting it and de-seeding it first and then chopping it up. All right, next I'm going to use 1 can, like 14 ounces. This is like 13.5 of coconut milk. Of course, I'm using light because I want less saturated fat in my food. 1/3 cup is normally 3 points. I'm using a whole can, and it still comes out in the tracker to, let's see, 1 point per person if it serves 4. Okay. Let's go on here. Let's go to our spices. 1 tablespoon of the curry powder. I'm using the yellow one. 1 teaspoon of turmeric ground. And then I have garam masala here. 1 teaspoon of the garam masala. If you see it out there, I would definitely pick some up just to have it because it really adds a load of wonderful flavor to your curries and to some other dishes. I'm going to be using 1 cup of spinach. You can use fresh. I'm going to use frozen because I don't like it when spinach goes bad in my fridge. I'm going to defrost it, and then also a half of cup of sweet green peas, which I'm going to defrost. Okay, so let's get started and I'll show you how I do this. I'm going to start off by spraying the pan a little bit with some pan. You can go and just not add any oil and make it totally oil-free, but I still have pan stick anxiety, so I'm still using a little bit of pan spray. I'm going to put in my garlic and my onions, and I'm just going to kind of toss them around a bit until they're nice and tender. Being careful not to overly toast and burn them. So I lowered the pan a little bit. I'm going to put in my 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, and I'm going to put in my chopped tomatoes. And now I'm just going to kind of cook this for about a minute or so until the juices start really coming out of the tomatoes. All right, it got kind of loud, so I'm going to switch to voiceover. So after a couple minutes of cooking, I'm going to add in my kabocha squash or my potatoes, and I'm going to stir that around a bit, make sure it's all evenly coated. And then after this, I'm going to add in the coconut milk. This really does change the flavor. I mean, and if you can get this light, I'm not going to always have it, in go the spices, but it's a nice treat once in a while. All right, so I'm going to stir this around and cover it and cook it for about 15 minutes until the squash or the potatoes is tender. All right, look at that, not bubbling really nice, and it smells absolutely amazing. Look at that, that just looks so great. So now after they're tender, I'm gonna put in the peas and the spinach. And this is such a colorful dish. It's one of the things that I really love is, we kind of like start digesting with our eyes first. And, I just love all the beautiful colors. All right, you're gonna add salt and pepper to taste. I added both to mine. This was absolutely fabulous. And my husband absolutely loved it as well. All right, the rice is ready. This time I'm having it hot first, and next time it'll be cooled and then reheated. It was absolutely amazing. Now later I did want a cup of this fat-free rich milk chocolate. It's 25 calories, and 1 point, and then also a couple handfuls of popcorn. I was with the kids. All right, dinner was some of my soup from my last video and sweet potato flatbread. Okay, so I thought I ended the day at first with Freestyle points 22, or on the purple plan it would be 12, but then when I added the white rice, because I forgot to add those points in, it became either Freestyle 28 and then or purple plan 18. So that's still, I mean, I'm okay with that, and especially with all of the points. And I think that, I probably could have brought that down a little bit more if I counted 2 points for a couple of handfuls of the Target popcorn, and maybe that was a little bit liberal, but I wanted to make sure that, I didn't undercut on that, because it's got a lot of salt, and I don't know what kind of fat they use in on it. But anyway, it was good. Target popcorn is the best popcorn. In fact, I like it more than movie theater popcorn. It is amazing. And we had to go in there to buy some unsweetened almond milk, and as a result, I had my kids with me, and we all smell that as soon as we get in the door, and we all love it. So we bought a bag, and we kind of like shared that a bit. But anyway, so that was that. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the reasons why I love this, the purple plan coming on from Weight Watchers, is because, honestly, if I was going to use brown rice instead of the white rice, I wouldn't have had to count it. And so that's fine. And then, I could have served it over potatoes if I wanted, right? But I already had the Kabocha squash, and that was still a little starchy already, so I didn't want to kind of like mimic it with another potato. But I have to highly recommend that Kabocha squash. If you see it, I got this one at the dollar store, so it was $1. But they last for a long time, and the skin, don't let that fool you. It becomes really soft and very edible when you steam it or you cook it. But it is lightly sweet, and it's almost like an acorn squash, but a little drier and a little creamier. So Kabocha squash for the win. Really, really good stuff. So anyway, and that was another question as well, as I was looking at the Purple Plan free foods, and it listed squash, and it didn't make the distinction on the starchier squashes versus the non-starchier squashes. So I'm assuming that I'm just going to count it as a free food, because honestly, they're not as starchy as like a potato. And if the potatoes are free, then I'm pretty sure the Kabocha squash is free too. So anyway, but that was yesterday's food. I think I might wait tomorrow. I think I'm going to pull back from any sort of salt today, real salt. Well, I'll still add salt, but not like Target popcorn salt. But anyway, so I hope you have a wonderful Friday. I will see you guys later. Love you a lot. All right, bye.